7:15. Well, as Dorothea McKellar always said, Australia is a country of drought and flooding rains. That makes water our most precious resource. But climate change and a boost in our nation's population will cause havoc for water supplies. That's according to the experts. Many warn our capital cities will be left high and dry within 20 years. So what does our future hold? Ed Blakely is an urban planner with a world of experience. He joins us again now. Good morning to you. Good to see you again. Now, is this water shortage really as bad as the experts fear?
Yes, it is. We have a real water shortage around the world, and particularly here in Australia. We're not manufacturing water as fast as we're manufacturing population.
Well, it's a country of contrasts at the moment. Melbourne is planning to ease water restrictions. They've had a really wet summer. Perth, though, is tightening up their restrictions over winter. Do we need to implement a better national approach? Does the federal government need to step in with a coordinated plan rather than just leave it up to individual states?
Well, the federal government's already doing that. There's a National Council on Water, and they've come up with some very good recommendations. However, we can't make water easily. It's expensive. So what we have to do is figure out where all of our water is, how we can organize it so that groundwater, surface water, and so forth is used appropriately. But we're still going to be under a strain.
Okay, what about desalination plants? A lot of state governments are spending big money on those at the moment. Will that solve the issue?
No, it won't solve the issue, but it'll ease it. It'll take us through those times when we have very little water, but desalination is very expensive, and so we have to be very careful going to that technology.
Do we need to look at what we produce in this country? It's always baffled me why one of the driest continents on the world would produce rice and cotton, particularly in desert areas, which are so dependent on water. Do we have to change that?
Yes, well, I think pricing will change that. The price of water is low enough to produce those crops. When you change the price, you'll change the crops. But also the people who produce the crops will come up with new technologies and new techniques.
Okay. Now, what are you hoping for this big inquiry, this big commission that's looking at our river systems at the moment here in Australia and maybe looking at buying back water rights from the bush and from farmers? Is that a step in the right direction?
Absolutely, and we're going to have to start looking at inner water basin treatments. That is, moving water from one basin to another, from one river system to another, and moving water underground and surface water into collection systems.
So is that feasible?
Oh yes, it's certainly done in the United States. California has a system like that.
I always thought too, we had a big stimulus package here in Australia which we went to put insulation in homes and things like that, turned a bit pear-shaped. I always thought it may have been a solution to encourage people to put more water tanks in their homes. Is that a solution? Do water tanks domestically actually help ease the situation?
Well, water tanks are very, very small. There are new technologies out which would allow you to put water in your walls or under your house, enough water to supply for almost a year. So I think we have to look at bigger solutions than a small tank.
Okay, all right. Look, it is a big issue for this country. It's one that's not going to go away. We appreciate your time, and we'll certainly be watching the outcome of this commission over the next couple of months. Good to see you.
Good to see you.